Mrs. Gonnella's fourth grade class presents the first story of fourth grade rats by Jerry Spinelli. Enjoy!
In the story Fourth Grade Rats by Jerry Spinelli, George Martin, aka Suds, did not want to become a fourth grade rat. Suds in Joey's school, when you get to in fourth grade, you go from being a third grade angel to a fourth grade troublemaker. However, Suds, the main character, likes being an angel. On the other hand, his best friend, Joey Peterson, has waited 4 years to become a rat and is thrilled to be one. In the beginning of the story, Suds and Joey are propped up against the playground equipment while the third graders are shouting the classic chant at them. First grade babies, second grade cats, third grade angels, fourth grade rats.
Although Suds does not want to be a rat, he is being pushed into being one by his best friend Joey. While in the cafeteria at school, Suds takes out his lunch and is a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Joey says to Suds that a PB&J is a baby sandwich. Joey wants Suds to eat meat because it's a manly thing to do. Suds also has a lunchbox with elephants on it that he used in third grade. Joey thinks Suds' lunchbox is extremely babyish and starts laughing at Suds so hard that his face turns bright red. Joey says that fourth grade rats have paper bags as lunchboxes, not babyish elephants holding fish poles.
On his way out of the cafeteria, Suds runs into his third grade teacher. She says to Suds, "You will always be a third grade angel to me." Gerald Willis, the school bully, hears this and smacks Suds' lunchbox on the floor. His lunch flies all over the hallway. And Gerald Willis teases Suds by saying, "Where's my apple, teacher's pet?"
That night, Zipper Nose and Bubba Suds' siblings tease Suds for being a fourth grade rat. Suds gets very mad at this and stomps his way upstairs. He decides to take a bubble bath because it soothes him and calms him down. This is how he earned his nickname Suds.
Even after his bath, Suds is still not calm. His mom continues to tease him. In the text, Suds' mom says, I guess I'm going to have to call school and pull you out of there. We'll hire a tutor to come in and teach you. She could sit in the toilet seat while you're in the tub. Ha ha ha. His mom thinks Suds is taking the whole fourth grade rats thing too seriously.
Suds' mom ended her teasing with, "If you want to be a real man, go take out the trash." When Suds went outside, he ran into his dad and he asked if lifting weights made him a real man. He said they only made him look like one. Suds realized that weights would not make him a real man like Joey.
The next day at recess, a bee lands on Joey's arm. Suds is terrified of bees, and Joey is not. The text says it brings shivers to Suds' back and butterflies to his stomach. "Hit him," whispered Suds. Joey just kept staring at the bee. By now, other kids swarmed over him in shock. Gerald, the bully, came over too and saw what was going on. He pushed the bee off of Joey's arm and the bee took off, but turned back around and stung Joey. Everyone was so impressed because Joey didn't cry or even complain about it.
That afternoon, Judy Billings followed the boys home, and it was as if Suds was not there. All Judy could say was, "Ooh, Joey." Then she looked at Joey's muscles. Joey said to her, "I know this other cool guy that has nice muscles too." "No way, not as good as yours," Judy replies. "Oh yeah? Way better than mine. And I think he likes you too. And I think you'd like him." Judy thought he was talking about him. She whispered in his ear and ran off giggling down the street. Suds grabbed Joey's shirt and said, "What did she say?" Joey shrugged and looked away. "What a great friend you are," said Suds sarcastically. Joey screamed, "I was trying to help you." "How? By telling her who has a crush on her?" Suds yelled. "Traitor," said Suds. Even though Suds is still mad at Joey, Suds goes to Joey's house the next day. When Suds arrives at Joey's house, Joey shows Suds how to be a rat by trashing his room. On page 64, Joey pulls out a few encyclopedias, comic books, and some National Geographic magazines and tosses them on the floor. He throws socks, underwear, and shirts all over the place. Joey kicks his wastebasket over, and garbage flies everywhere. Then Joey throws paper, pencils, and rubber bands onto the floor.
Suddenly, Joey runs to the bathroom, and Suds is very confused. Suds finds Joey putting a tattoo on his forearm. Joey says to Suds, "Wait in my room." When Joey returns, he is holding a hammer in his hand, a jar of nails, some band-aids, and some cotton balls with a bottle of iodine. Joey says, "Put a hole in my ear." Suds screams, "You're gonna wear an earring?" says Suds shockingly. Joey does not want to put on an earring. He wants pain to show his manliness. Luckily, Joey's mom comes into the room. "You're gonna clean your room when Suds leaves tomorrow," she says. And Joey responds, "Nah, I don't think so." Suds is shocked and waiting for a huge argument to begin. But instead, she just says, "Okay," and walks away.
Suddenly, Joey hears the phone ring, and sure enough, it's Judy Billings. They have a conversation on the phone, and Suds is fuming. When Joey's off the phone, he calls Joey a traitor, and they don't speak for the rest of the night.
In the next scene, Joey thinks Suds needs some help to become a rat. The boys start training Suds. The first thing Joey forces Suds to do is to watch the movie E.T., the part when E.T. dies. Suds cries over and over again. On the 22nd try, Joey finds that Suds' eyes are finally dry. Next on the list of activities to train to be a rat was getting Suds over his fear of spiders. Joey put a spider on Suds' arm. Suds screamed and flipped away. On the 9th try, Suds stopped screaming, but didn't stop flipping the spider away from him. Finally, Suds' mom asked Suds to please empty his wastebasket. Suds couldn't say no, even though the boys were training to be a rat. Instead, he just said, "Okay, Mom."
The next day, Suds saw Judy Billings sitting alone at lunch. Suds decided to go over and ask if he could sit next to her, but walking over to her was scary. He almost didn't go. He asked to sit next to her, and she said no, but he sat there anyway. Things went bad when Jairus Willard walked over, and Suds felt his chair moving backwards and away from him. He looked over behind him. It was Jared Willis, and boom! Suds fell straight down on the floor. He didn't just fall in front of the whole school. He fell in front of his major crush, Judy Billings. He was so embarrassed he slunk away. His face was red as a tomato. As he was leaving, he saw a third-grade angel holding a piece of chocolate cake in his hand. Suds lost it and shoved the cake into the kid's face.
For the next few days, Suds went on a rampage. He stole Twinkies from younger kids. He pushed people off of the tire swing. Suds thought to himself, "Joey was right, angels come last."
The next morning, as Suds was walking down the street, he could have sworn he heard the voice of Judy Billings. Suds was right. Judy Billings was standing just up the street. She shot a smile at his face. Suds and Judy walked to school together, and she did most of the talking. She kept mentioning how famous he was and how many people were talking about him. But he couldn't listen. He was in a daze about how pretty she was. Man, what an awesome start to the day, Suds thought to himself. After a while, Suds heard her say, "Could you?" And it made him immediately snap out of his daze. Judy wanted Suds to let a bee sting him, just
like Joey did, but they couldn't find one. For Judy, Suds would let an alligator bite his arm. How about a spider, she asked. Suds replied, sure, trying not to hesitate. He saw plenty of spiders, but purposely ignored them. But sure enough, Judy eventually found one. Suds was very scared, but still let Judy put it on his arm. They walked all the way to school with what they thought was a black widow spider. When they reached school, Judy yelled out and told everyone to come. Suds couldn't believe it. He was actually popular.
At lunch, Suds sees Joey. Suds, of course, sits next to his best friend, ready to make Joey proud with his bad boy ways. Suds brags about how he held a spider and how he is eating meat for lunch. He even told Joey he said no to his mom. But Joey seemed different, though. Instead of being proud of him, Joey had no reaction. When Suds asked Joey where his tattoos were, he said he sweat them off. Suds did not understand what was going on with Joey. Then Joey just walked away from Suds. That was so strange and unlike Joey. Something was going on. After school that day, Suds walked home with Judy Billings. When they got to her house, she opened the door and Muffy, Judy's cat, dashed outside. They found Muffy in a tree. Even though Suds was afraid of heights, he climbed for Judy to save her cat. Once he realized how high he was, he started to panic and couldn't get down. Judy became impatient and Suds dropped the cat. Luckily, it landed on its feet. Judy was happy and took her cat and left poor Suds stuck up in the tree. Suds thought she was going to get help, but she didn't. A lot of time passed, and he heard mothers calling their kids to come in for dinner. Suds heard his mom and started yelling, "Help! Up here! Help!" His mom was finally able to come help him down, and Suds cried all the way home.
Suds felt guilty about all of his wrongdoings and finally confessed to his mom about his rat-like behavior. He told his mom everything starting with the embarrassing fall he had, which changed him. He told her about pushing kids off the swings and throwing Winky out of the window and how terrible it made him feel. His mom replies, "Remember when you said being a rat was the first step to becoming a man? As soon as you stopped trying to be a man, you became one." Suds was surprised and realized that being yourself and doing the right thing made him a real man.
A few days later, Suds finds his dad watching E.T. on the couch. He notices his dad's crying at the same part of the movie that he always cries at. He climbs into his dad's lap and says to him, "Don't sweat it, Dad. I do too." Suds is trying to tell his dad that real men cry sometimes too, and there's nothing wrong with that. The moral of the story is it's okay to be yourself and don't try to be someone you're not. It's more important to be a good person and not worried about what others think of you. Suds is a good role model, and we should all learn to be a little more like him.
The end.